Hey guys,
What's going on?
I don't know if anybody's
Yeah, we got a couple
I'm
of guys
not on
in
the
here.
other side, so all right, cool.
We got Tim Glock,
Yeah, I gotta
30
dig
fan,
in.
Mr. Joe Deals. What's going on,
All
brother?
right.
Joe has had a big whatchamacallit, Tigger haul today. Also, you're welcome.
Nice.
You just got paid because I watched that ad. just letting you know as this YouTube video this YouTube is starting up.
Yeah, you'll get the ad to my $3 that I'll make on this video. Man, nah, it is interesting seeing it on the other side for sure. Hey Joe, hey Paul as well. Hey man, did you get that froggy sold? He sent me a thing about checking on the cost of an item.
Oh, nice. What was it?
It's some like Froggy Freddy, the plush from back in the day.
I was like,
vintage.
Does Anthony have a plush now? Have we got
he's got his
own plush merch?
He's got his own action figure.
Yeah. What's up, Frank? What's up, Mike? Papa Sticks? How are you guys doing?
I'm gonna hit this light, see if it changes my outlook in there.
What are you hitting? Yeah, Guitar Hero guitar. I'm like, are you going full like 90s rock band in your like
just
like smash?
I want to rock.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. All right, got Frank in the house as well. Let me see, Tim, Mike, man, good to see you, bro. I got to get over there sometime and see you.
Yeah,
I haven't been to the thrift in a minute. Mike runs the thrift over here on the beach, Mission Thrift, if you're ever on the Outer Banks.
There you go. Hey, Tim, what's going on, guys? So we're sad to announce that I'm not sure where Dontae is. Hopefully everything is okay. So we may have to go forward with this show just hanging out with you guys and us. And of course, if he pops on, we'll pick up the interview wherever it starts.
I got you. Hey, Nick Pick Thrift, thanks for coming in. Papa Sticks, thanks for being here. Ken, Mr. Bill, thanks for hanging out. And obviously Tim over the years. The other day I was on and we had 3 Tims in the chat. So Tim, and Tim. But today we were 2 Tim strong.
Right. Wendy, what's going on, Louie?
Yeah. So, guys, pretty much tonight we're an open book. We're willing to talk about everything, but we are not talking politics.
Okay.
We are not talking politics. We are not getting into that topic, Tim. I see you've already beat me to the punchline there. Because Lord knows I've seen and heard enough of that to do me for a lifetime, I think. So,
no doubt.
There you go.
What's going on, Drew?
Drew, thanks for coming by. We were talking the other day about maybe lining up a listing ordeal with myself and Drew. So,
yeah, Louis. So
actually, man, we were actually talking the other day about. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I had to clean shave, so every October 31st, I shave it all off and I grow out a mustache for prostate, testicular cancer, and men's cancer awareness charities. I've been doing it since college because we had a buddy who lost his dad to prostate cancer. So, it's just kind of a tradition. Like, me and my friends have kind of kept up, and I've finally been old enough to grow a legit mustache. So.
Yeah, I'm on the No Shave November, but I got a jump start on it. So we might be full Duck Dynasty by the time to the end of November.
I'll be like Pai Mei from Kill Bill.
Yeah, there you go. Got too long. Wendy, thanks for coming in. Greg, thanks for the super chat, bro. Appreciate it. Our super sticker. And honestly, I can't see it because I'm on the other side. I'm going to pull out up the other side so we can see what's going on with that. Sticker.
What's going on, Derek?
Got to mute the rookie move. Mute.
Yeah. The storage is going well, Joe. I should have filmed this. I've been like out of YouTube mode, so I keep like forgetting where my camera with me. But I found like 3 shelves in the dumpster. So more stuff getting off the ground, which is just in time. I was telling Eric about this tomorrow. We got to go over like my mother-in-law, like her mother-in-law is downsizing to a studio from like I think like a 3-bedroom house, and her husband had passed away and left behind a whole bunch of tools and suits. Some of this like automotive parts, some of it's like new in package. So they want me to go over and just like sort through some stuff and see what's good for reselling, what's not good for reselling, and then I get to kind of keep whatever I want. So I had to like empty out my car and just make room.
Yeah, Tim, man. So how we joined forces is we're both a bunch of YouTube stalkers / rookies, and we were hanging out. And actually, Jacob, Midwest Bargains, if you don't know about Jacob, man, jump over and subscribe. He's a young guy. We've been reselling like 2nd generation reseller. And he reached out to myself and Sam probably about simultaneously and said, hey, I want to do a reselling show. And then he's like, do you mind if I guess he told Sam and told me, hey, do you mind if Sam, like, do you know the Dapper Tiger? I was like, I've seen him in chats. And then I guess he told Sam kind of the same thing, and we put it together, and we've been hanging out now for about, I think we're going on like 40 episodes. So almost
it's been that
a good
wow. So. That's crazy. Because like, I mean, it still feels like number 1 was yesterday.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. I mean, April, I think our first episode was like April something, early April. So it's been a minute. Like we're creeping up on a long time. So,
yeah.
Now it's November. So I think it's like 38, maybe. I don't have the exact count. I'd have to go back and look. But it's been a long ride. Yeah. And I mean, the other side of that is myself and Sam now have become good friends off YouTube as well. We tend to talk to each other multiple times a week, sometimes more than others. There for a while, every day for hours. Like we'd be discussing various life and other topics as well. So, Jeremy, George, thank you guys for being here.
I mean, it's definitely. It's like what we keep preaching, it's trying to find not just like camaraderie and stuff, but like also like support and someone to bounce ideas off of and, collaborate beyond just like YouTube. At first it was to keep each other going on YouTube. Sometimes it's just to kind of brag about our finds and, things that like we're excited about, but our family could really care less about. So to kind of have someone to share that excitement with and someone who understands, you don't have to like explain to folks. It's like nice.
Yeah, it is, man. It's kind of interesting anymore. We tend to talk more about life than we talk about reselling. Here recently, particularly like, just what's going on in the world, what's going on in our families, like that kind of stuff. So it's cool. It's actually, it's kind of neat. Mm-hmm. I think another question coming in. Well, Russell, thanks for coming in. Lewis, thanks for being here, bro.
Hey, what's going on?
What we were talking about. Let's see.
I mean, just like like you said, life stuff, and I mean, I guess we were kind of talking about what to talk about if Dontae's not here, and I mean, it's keeping each other going, because there are a lot of times it's like it's hard to kind of like pull yourself in, like perfect timing. Emily just got here. Hi, Emily. She was just like, man, Eric, the way you go about listing, you're just like the way you think about it really kind of shifted my mindset, triggered me, challenged me, and is pushing me to want to list more. Because I mean, there is that like trap that we can fall into, where like, man, today's just been a hard day and all this other stuff, and we kind of, let ourselves get off a little easier. And obviously there are times for like that empathy part, but also like, hey man, I listed like 20 items today. What you do? Like, oh, I should probably get on that.
Yeah. I think that's what Joe was hitting you up on, like how's things going with you. As far as listing. I mean, I know obviously you can touch on the other business stuff you got going on, because I know you're listing that a lot of times on top of what you do with this.
Well, I mean, because it's getting colder. Like, so Q4 for me, like with the farm, just means something. Like things are getting colder right now, and so it's harder to grow. Well, it was freaking like 80 degrees today in Illinois, but for the most part, things are getting colder, and it'll be harder for me to kind of cultivate. So I try and make this final push before like, December and January comes, where like it's very hard for me to like grow. So that's what I've been front loading stuff on, but I've been selling, stuff consistently on Mercari still. So I, try and list a couple items like a day, and just sat down and took a bunch of pictures of sealed video games yesterday that I got to like put up.
Yeah, it is one of those things. I mean, I guess, some of the stuff we talk on, especially, I mean, in light of everything going on in the world, oftentimes we can get a mindset of thinking about all the things negative, all the crazy stuff going on, or things, I mean, like, obviously, like here recently, people were talking about they had a problem with eBay, like changing their listings to where it was saying only local pickup instead of shipping or whatever. I didn't have that glitch myself, but I have had the free shipping one. That happened to me in the past. But ultimately, a lot of that stuff's out of your control. Like there's nothing you can do about it. Like, I mean, you can complain, you can, talk to eBay or talk to Mercari about stuff or whatever it may be. But kind of some of the stuff we were talking about earlier is controlling what we can control. Nobody's going to come to your house and list your items for you unless you don't have the tooth fairy coming in at night, the listing fairy dropping by and saying, hey, I'll take care of this for you, no problem. So we have to do the work to get the reward. And I guess is like how to go about that, how to get, in a mindset of like accepting responsibility, I guess would be a way to put it.
Well, well, especially like how you handle adversity too. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes it takes folks a little bit longer to get to the point of like, okay, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. I can objectively see what I need to do to mitigate the damage and like find a resolution and move forward. Like, because we're all entrepreneurs. Like, if I'm not putting out a fire, it's a good day. Yeah. Which I don't really get many of those days. You know what I mean? Like, right. But that's part of running your own business. Like things happen. And like I was telling Eric yesterday, I had a customer reach out. The post office had lost what I thought was a $350 order that I was going to not only have to eat because I didn't buy more insurance on it, didn't think I needed to. And, I would have to replace that. And then, and now there's this like level of mistrust between me and my post office. I mean, the initial thought, like when, the customer reached out, I'm like, good Lord, man, I already told you, like, mail is running slow right now because everything's going on. Like, just relax. But like, I gave him the benefit of the doubt, checked it. Sure enough, post office didn't even scan it. Call the post office. My boy Andre picks up. I'm talking to him. It's like, it's not here, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it could have just scanned and been an error. I'm freaking out. Because I don't know where this thing is. Pirate Ship doesn't know where it is. USPS can't figure it out. And this guy doesn't have his package. So, I typed out. in the moment, I'm not gonna lie to you, I wanted to project my anger onto Andre. It wasn't his fault. He takes care of me all the time. Had I not controlled myself in that moment, dude, I would have killed myself in the future because, like, I still have to see him. Like, he's a part of my business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had to, like, pull myself together, you know, tell the customer, like, hey, you know, give it a few days. If it's not there by Saturday, you know, like, I'll figure something out and I'll get your package out on Monday. Like, I will physically hand it to them. And this is my fault for just dropping it down the chute now because, like, I'm lazy. I don't want to wait in line. Like, I bring it to the post office, drop it in the chute, and call it a day. And they never failed me. So it was really weird that this happened. But fortunately, the customer reached out today and was like, I got it. Thank you so much. I appreciate the extra stuff you've given me inside there. That saved me. And I was like, and I didn't have to eat, you know, $300 something.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you know, but this is happening like within like an hour time span, and I'm dealing with like family stuff and whatnot on top of that. I'm like trying to think. So there are a lot of reasons for me to like lose my cool, blame everybody instead of, you know, it's not my fault that this stuff happened to me, but it is my, you know, responsibility to try and control it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, because ultimately, what can you do? Like when things go awry and it's completely out of your control. I mean, what if you just lose it? Like, I mean, does that help anything? I mean, maybe you feel better for a second, but
right.
You know, I mean, ultimately, you still have to deal with what's going on. Mike was saying that he got eBay dinged him on a late tracked mail item. Took him half a day to get it removed from his account. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah. And I guess it's one of those things. I mean, when you're in business, like I guess it's different if you work for somebody else, you know, because like all you guys that work or have worked for other people, you see what happens in a work environment. A lot of times people are always pointing the finger at somebody else, right? Hey, it's not me. That guy screwed this up. That's why it messed me up. But when it's just you and you're the one that's in business, ultimately it all falls back to you. No matter what happens, like if eBay screws something up, if the post office screws something up, we still have to do something. You know, we still have to take, like Mike said, open the case, told me that it was in transit, escalated, eBay closed it. So I mean, there is one of those things that we're going to have to deal with it one way or another. And there's ways people deal with it, right? Like one of the things that people tend to do, first of all, I mean, maybe this is like some mental health stuff too. Emily's here. She can kind of check us out on this. And I know Sam's all about that as well. But a lot of times, what do? We look for somebody else to blame, right? And we do that. We're like, hey, it's that guy's fault. It's this guy's fault. The next thing we do is a lot of times we just ignore it, right? If we just ignore it, maybe it'll go away. That don't ever work out either. Right? Like, it's like, hey, I'll just wait and see what happens like down the road. But if you do take responsibility and control what you can control, then I mean, for us, that's what we got to do. We're in business. Like it's business. It may not always work out for you.
Yeah, because I mean, and I don't want to get like I was telling Eric, like, you know, with mindset get too like foo-foo and out there and Alan Watts, like, because it really from like a scientific standpoint, like when we're triggered, when we feel threatened, it's fight, flight, or freeze, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's either we blame everybody else, fight, you know, we figure it out, or you know, we just freeze in place. So, and, you know, and I think. At the end of the day, it's like I don't enjoy having these situations come up, but also having the level of reflection of like, okay, how could I have handled it better, and you know what do I think I did well there, like what I'm going to carry forward. And to me, it's just sharpening the problem solving knife.
Yeah,
because like if I'm fast about it this time, I'm going to be even faster next time.
Mm-hmm. Or you'd be like, I've already seen that. I already know how to deal with it. I've already been through it. You know, like there's things you move on. I was looking at some other stuff. Like Mike had said, you know, for him, it just turned into a waste of time, but it's something he had to do. So like at that point, if you just ignored it, you'd still have the ding, right? Like if you hadn't take the time to do something. Joe was talking about he used to have a high volume, fast paced job in pre-press, got laid off and hired back. The division I was working for is laid back and had coworkers and customers tell me to chill. So, I mean, it's one of those things like where he's talking about here. The backside of that was, let's see if I can get it up. How's that not coming up? So nice to do the reselling in a more fast pace because I've been used to it. And I like that pace better. And that's true. Everybody does work at their own pace. One of the things you have to keep in mind, though, is if you're in business for yourself, like, you know, me and Emily had a conversation and she's talking about having a listing goal. And we talked some of that about that ourselves. Guys, we all know, like, if you do a budget for your home, you know what you got to make, right? Like, you know, hey, I've got to make this to pay all my bills. Like, I've got to make this to live. So there's a way to look at reselling. And hey, if I work backwards, I know I need to list X to sell X. You know, I mean, whatever that number is for you. Like if you're only averaging, and it's not too hard to figure out. I mean, if you take your 90-day, you take your items and divide them out. You know, hey, I sold 600 items for whatever amount of money, and then divide it out. That gives you your average selling costs, like, and obviously that's excluding shipping and fees and all that kind of stuff. You got to take all that, work your numbers. Then you can figure out, hey, this is how much work I have to put in to meet the minimum standard, right? Like this is just to meet that. And then for beyond that, then it's like a matter of input. Like, you know, one of the things that me and Emily were talking about, I try to do 3 times what I sell in a day. I want to list a day. That's my goal. Like other people have something else that they work with, and sales are just like this, right? So some days it's good, some days it's not so good. I think that's what Derek's asking, how have sales been for y'all this week? I had a great weekend, and I had a good Monday. Tuesday was terrible. Wednesday was a little better, and yesterday was pretty good. Today was real good. I sold like a very expensive item for me, so I'm stoked on that. But it's been up and down. So Chinese wedding back.
You know? I mean, and then learning how to pivot on those days, and you know, kind of talking about the, you know, coping with that. Like you're not like, oh dang, you know, or you know, trying to explain your way out of like, you know, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. It's like, dude, all you can do is just list or source more at this point. I don't what you gonna do, you know? Or run promotions and do or send offers to buyers. Like there are all those little ancillary things, you know, even like, you know, when I was practicing, right? Like if I didn't have a patient, like what opportunities could I take to either build up my team or, you know, take the time to mentor somebody, you know, really figure out like support, you know, my front desk and really kind of think about those other things that we do to enhance our business, you know?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I was looking at, you know, Joe's talking about he has a goal and he's growing his store. Joey, thanks for popping in, bro. Appreciate you being here. Yeah. And Wendy, obviously, I don't know if I missed you before, but Krillin, what's up, buddy?
Krillin.
Good to see you, man. But, you know, talking about the goals, like what you're saying, you know, sending out best offers, like doing the promoted listings. Promoted listings is something I just recently started getting my mind around. Like, hey, this is something that can actually create business. And honestly, Tommy helped me out with that because I started looking at, hey, if 9 out of every 20 items is a promoted listing in the top tier, like if you look at the top 20 items, then dude, why not promote? Just add it back to your sales costs. Like just know, hey, maybe I need to bump my like if I see the average sale cost of an item is $20, maybe I need to bump my item up to 22 and promote it heavy. Like, I mean, I'm still going to make the same amount of money, requires a little different mindset in the sense of, hey, I need to price it a little higher, promote it heavy, and then I'm probably still going to get the sale. And it's worked, man. I've seen some sales come from that for me.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own opinions to that stuff, but try stuff out. Don't be afraid to take a risk. Because really, the bottom line, if you don't sell it, are you making any money on it? Like, if it's just hanging out. Like Marcus, thanks for dropping in. Joey, man, I'm not sure. Dontae, I sent him the link.
If you see him, tell him we're looking for him.
I haven't talked to him before, so hey, just tell him to drop in if you guys got a way of getting in contact with him other than IG, because that's what I was reaching out to.
I mean, that's, so we're kind of freestyling about, mindset and how to keep yourself going, especially, everything is going on. Everybody's highly anxious, easily triggerable, I think. Mm-hmm. So it's easy for, that kind of stuff to spill over into my business. You know what I mean? Because I really do think, like, if you're not feeling good, that starts to reflect. It might not show today. It might not show like in a month, but those little things that, I mean, I noticed it too. Those little things that you let slip by because, either it's just getting overwhelming or whatever. I mean, like that happened to me with my store early on with like my dad was going back in the hospital. Like I started letting other stuff slip because I was, trying to focus on him, and I'm thinking it's all good because sales are up and it's floating me, but I'm just getting rewarded for the work I had done like 2 months ago. And it's just paying it forward now. And, and then for a little while there was feeling, that little gap in, non-activity on my store. So.
Yeah. And it is one of those things. I mean, sometimes you do wonder, but here's another mindset too. Like, and you could equate this, like I always think, not that I've hit the gym much lately myself, but, back in the day when I used to lift a lot, I'd see guys coming to the gym and they lift one day and they'll go nuts, right? And then you don't see them for weeks, right? And like you almost get a mindset of, hey, I can go and work hard one day and everything's going to change, right? When change is always a gradual thing, right? You can change your mindset for a day, but if you're not consistent with it, just like lifting weights. Like I used to do strength and conditioning for the football team here locally. And, I'd have those guys that show up once every 2 weeks. I was like, dude, you're wasting your time because you're going to come in here. All you're going to do is get sore, right? Like you're going to put in 1 day effort and then you're going to not show up for 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks later, you're going to have to start the process over again. Right. So for us, I think the mindset as far as us as resellers is like, man, it's consistency. And then down the road, right? Because what happens is if we're consistent, that whole thing of 21 days to make a good habit, right? Or a bad habit as well. If you do the same thing for 21 days, it becomes a habit. And, for us as resellers, I think if we get in that mindset and just be consistent with it, then you start to reap the rewards down the road. And then your rewards become more consistent as well, right? Like you don't have that peak one day because it's almost looking like, man, you could go back and track. Hey, like I listed a ton of stuff this day and I had great sales one day. And then I went right back to normal because the other days I didn't list anything or I listed very little. So Tracy, Tommy, good to have you guys.
Tommy wants to know what he did.
Dude, we were talking about your eBay prowess.
I know you didn't intend. I know you didn't intend to have to, have a like informational YouTube channel, but it happened.
Yeah, but we do look at that stuff. And Dontae, man, we're not quite sure where he's at. Hopefully, all is well with him, and nothing's going on. But I did reach out to him and just haven't heard. So if any of you guys got his info, man, reach out, make sure everything's good. No pressure about him coming on now if you don't want to, but if he does, he's more than welcome to do so. Nate, coming in, Drifter Thrifters. Aussie in the house. So good to have you, man. Sam, did you actually sing it?
I did not. I just said that I would break the internet.
We were clickbaiting you guys. That's what it was. No.
Us.
Yeah. starting to schedule to an auction a day to see if I can help create sales a day. Sale a day. Hey, that's a pretty good idea. One auction a day. Schedule them out 7 days. Jeremy says he wants to hear Sam sing.
I mean, I feel like you would regret that, Jeremy, man. I don't.
Yeah, one of those things. So, guys, we are pretty much open book outside of politics. We're not talking about that tonight for sure, but pretty much open book. If people have questions, anything you want to bring up, we'll try our best to answer, and if not, we'll find somebody who can. So,
do you ever find you work is one of your coping skills? Like you bury yourself in work. So
yeah, I mean, I think if you're not careful, you can overdo it for sure.
Yeah,
especially when you're working from home, like that can be something that if you're not careful, work never stops. Like or like one of those things that's the go-to. But yeah, I mean, I've had times like that where I was just like, hey, or I mean, sometimes for me when I get on the grind and I'm just like, look, I'm going to do this or pass out. Like I'll get that mindset to where it's like, I'm just not going to stop. But I understand what you're saying too. Like, you know, if that becomes a coping mechanism, like to avoid other things, maybe.
Yeah. No, I mean, because it's like sometimes, I mean, it depends, you know, like where I think when I was practicing, like I would go to work and like if I was feeling crummy, like I would, you know, I was kind of living for the feedback at that point in my life, you know, like I needed to hear the good job, like you're doing a good job. So, you know, obviously like when you make people feel better and they're walking out of your practice and you like healed somebody, like super ego booster, right? But, you know, that was completely to mask like all the other like crappy stuff that was going on at home. So, you know, like there is that aspect of me that like I have to like watch out for, or I'm not really doing it for some sort of reward or, you know, using that reward to kind of as a distraction from whatever else is going on. Instead of just like taking care of whatever I need to take care of personally,
you know? Yeah. Hey, thanks. Picking for a living coming in. I hate to see
Jeff.
Tommy Tracy calling you Miss Murphy, so we'll go with that. I don't know. Picking for a living. Hey, so Glock 30 asked the question, give us a benefit of a new thing you each learned this week about the business. No need to give up the secret sauce, but one new aha moment you might have had. Wow. This week. I might have to dwell on that for a second about this week. Recently, I don't know why it took me so long to figure this out, but recently I did learn, and I don't know that it's really a learned thing. It's just kind of one of those moments you're like, duh, for me. I learned that, hey, if I'm sourcing and I'm already looking something up, why not create a draft if I'm going to buy it? Like to where I've already got it listed down in my thing. I can go back and look and adjust rather than having to do the research all over again. Like that was just a little thing, but that's kind of probably one of my later moments, or for me, more of a duh moment. Like, wow, man, I've been doing this all along. I don't know if that helps or hurts anybody.
Trying to think. Well, I found out that Christina bought some like aquatic stuff from Macari, like brine shrimp eggs and like a hatchery thing. So trying to figure out if you can sell live animals on Macari right now. I'm pretty sure you can't, but for whatever reason, you can sell shrimp eggs on there. So that'd be interesting to kind of explore and figure out. I didn't really learn anything yet, except for like that you can. So, but I'm not sure if it's just somebody who got away with a loophole. I'll keep you guys posted.
Had a customer just buy a software package from overseas, just wants the code. Has over 3 100 feedback. See any issues there? Got all the message. He said he just wants the code. I guess, man, if you've got it in backup, I've never sold anything like just the code. Guys, any of y'all sold software packages like that, like where you just sold the code, gave them the code?
No. I mean, the software stuff that I've sold, like, has always been like new inbox, even like a Window XP, where people wanted me to just crack it open and give it. I'm like, no, you're just gonna wait. Like, I sold it as new, you know. And also I'm like selling it on Macari, so there's no way to validate that it got shipped and delivered to them for Macari to give me the funds unless I ship it, So
that would be the only thing I would be worried about. The if you didn't ship it, like if they were to say, hey, never received the item, then I don't know. I mean, I guess if you sent it in the email, but if that's not how you had it listed as just the code, that might be a problem. Jimmy, I saw you in here before, man. I didn't welcome you, but thanks for being here, bro. Old school flips. Sometimes I have to do the second look for Uncle B, which isn't there anyway.
Jimmy's always fun at like new inbox stuff. I feel like at these like estate and like garage sales.
Jimmy's been killing it lately, man. I appreciate you with me on Tuesdays sometimes, man, because Jimmy's been inspiring me to pick it up. He has, because he's been killing it lately, man, and finding killer deals for sure.
That's awesome.
Wants to get a place. You are shipping a half a dozen items a day. Get a label printer. The day you get one, you'll kick yourself for not having one. Hey, that's a good thing. True, Mike. Man, I know. I love that. And I love the shipping labels in bulk where I can just take the scan sheet in there. Here you go. I'm out.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I have small reminders like that Macari package my wife got. It was the good old fashioned, printed out label taped on. So like the label's an 8x11 sheet of paper. Like, I do not miss those days.
That's how I started out, man. I was just printing paper and cutting it out and taping it on. That's what I was doing.
I'm like,
and then
arts, arts and crafts time is done.
Yeah, I don't miss it.
Dang, Jimmy, that's crazy.
Hey, what the hell said he sells just the code all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you changed it to code only overseas, you should be good to go, I would think. Gotcha. He only has a buck into 60. Hey, I would let her eat, man. Yeah. All right, so crafts time. Yeah, no doubt,
it was. Man, you got your tape out, and then like I heard Tracy one night, so she gave me the idea to like glue stick it. I was doing that for a little while. I'm like, man, I'm like, no, I need to buy a Rolo.
Yeah, man, I was fortunate, man. Early on, like shortly behind that, when I started selling a little bit of stuff, I actually ran into some dymos that were for sale here. Like people were selling them personally. Former like LuLaRoe people and that kind of stuff. So I bought 3 dymos and I've kept the worst one for myself because like mine, I actually give you a little. Yeah, so the front piece right there is missing, but who cares, man? It prints the labels perfect. One of those things. But yeah, man, I do that. What do you use as far as a label printer? I have the Dymo 4XL is what I'm using. But there's Dymo, Rolo. Dymo's more expensive if you buy them new. I got mine for $50. The most I paid for one was 60, and I sold 2. Yeah, I've sold 2, man. I sold one for like 180, and then so mine I paid for a couple times over. So we my buddy Ken, he has a Zebra that he got from somebody. And he said he don't have any problems with that. He actually got like 3 of them. In fact, he sold 2 to College Picker.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah. So it's one of those things because he had sold them as part.
I mean, he'll buy them up and fix them up, and I mean, a lot of his
Yeah.
YouTube videos are just managing
Flip 'em
and
right.
fixing thermal printers. He's like the biggest hater of Rollo. Like he's always hating on Rollo because it's basically fulfilled by China.
Yeah. They just took something and slapped the label on it. Yeah. That's what they said. Tommy says he remembers the day I bought yardsticks and stuck one to my shipping table and one to my listing table. That was the biggest time saver after the Dymo, I think. Man, that's a great idea, Tommy.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. I have yardsticks, man, because I like them. Like, I don't know why. As far as taking pictures with them, that's one of those things that's easier. It's easier than the tape measure because you know how the tape measure is like all bendy and
and
it's
very rigid.
Work down with the tape measure, but like items you don't have nowhere to hook it, and then half the time like push the button, it works, it don't work, whatever. But yeah, that's a great idea, Tommy. I'm gonna be adding an addition to the shed, like on that deal. I lost a Microsoft X 2.1 from 1988 in an old person's house. It's never open. It might be mine. He's talking about it.
Okay.
Oh,
I like that, man. I'll just steal Christina's like her cutting mat for like sewing and stuff. It's already got measurements and stuff on there. Just jack it from her.
Oh,
don't tell her. It was not $4. What's up, Sal?
Yeah.
Joe, I hope Santa's good to you this year, man.
Yeah. I was gonna say, speaking on something that every reseller needs, Sal's your man. Tape gun extraordinaire.
Tape gun. Dude, we acquired a tape gun. Not loving it so far. Has not Christina. I'm gonna blow up Christina's spot right now. She was like closing up like taping up one box, and like you have to like press in to like get the tape to rip, and she's like the whole box was basically just cut up from her like pressing in. We're like, we're gonna throw this in a poly bag and pretend like it never happened.
I've cut the tape too soon sometimes because you're stretching it around the box again. Like
yeah.
I was like,
I'm just like, because I'm an athletic trainer, I guess I'm just super used to like pulling tape off a roll and just like, because taping ankles, I got to be fast about it. So I'm just used to taping that way.
Yeah. What's crazy is when I first started, the ones that you get like the little handheld piece, like that's the ones I used to begin with rather than a legit tape gun. And I actually liked it better. Like it was one that, and then I bought a couple of tape guns. I actually got some at a estate sale. And but the teeth were too small, man. Like that, you'd have to like really work at trying to cut the tape. So honestly, man, when I won his on Instagram, thanks Sal again. When I won his on Instagram, his has the big teeth. So dude, you just pop it right off. It's no problem.
Done. Tracy's talking about the U-line. I mean, we have a 3M one. I don't know. I got it for free, so I'm not really complaining. Joe, we are not using those mini rolls just yet. I got all these like mini rolls of tape from Joe Deals. Like we met up and we did like a little trade, and he bought a box of tape, and it was like a bunch of rolls for like $10. And I was like, oh, too good to be true. He opens it up and there's all these like little mini rolls. So he gave me some.
Well, you see what I had for a while. I've still got some of the Kmart tape, man. From when Kmart went out of business, they had all these rolls of tape, and they actually say Kmart on them. So, if you want any Kmart tape, but it's old. You can tell it's old too, because when you start peeling it off, you're like, oh, one of those things. Yeah, speaking of that, man, I get some new RA opportunities coming before too long because where Kmart was on the beach, they are putting a Target in there. So I might be finding some sports cards finally. Who knows? Of course, then you got to be undercover reseller guy, right? If you go in Target.
I mean, sports cards are so bonkers right now. I feel like it's everybody,
Dude, have you seen the here recently. The Zion just sold for $500K.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man. Plus, I don't know. I haven't seen Omar in here, but Omar just hit a box, a mystery box of Pokemon.
Yeah.
And yeah, found a $1,200 pack in there, man. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but he posted on his Instagram, I think I saw for it, right?
Yeah. I was like, man, 36 rolls for $12 delivers. Yeah. Tape with style. That's it. Styles dispensers just tape different. Tape with style. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, Ray. Crazy, man. Who got that? I got my zebra for $10 from a place going out of business. Yeah, they're out there. Thermals are out there. You just got to find them. The first one I bought was the wrong size. It was the just the regular XL, which prints the narrower labels.
Mm-hmm.
But I sold that thing, no problem.
I'll tell you what, man. If you need to source thermal printers, just go to like the Goodwill by Harry Tornado. I feel like the dude's like giving one away every 3 months. He just like finds it.
It's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's probably, people that like, honestly, I bought 2 of mine from LuLaRoe people. Like they were going out of business and I guess they had it for printing labels for LuLaRoe. So one of those things. Use TCG player to price check them.
Have you ever used that?
Nah, I'm not quite sure on that, but I'm putting it in the notes.
It's an app that you use, TCG player. So
cards, like
cards, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh. So
okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Mike, that's funny because like I literally have a sample box of Rodan and Fields stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like these free sample packs. I'll show you guys later, but it's these free sample packs that like MLMer, the people who sell the Rodan and Fields, they use it as like kind of as like a gift when they do their hosting parties and stuff, and they're not selling those anymore just directly from the company. So I'm gonna try and flip this box for like 200, and they're like, it's all basically new and packaged like I got for free, so why not?
Yeah, man. I mean, it is one of those things. My daughter did LuLaRoe. I mean, honestly, LuLaRoe is the reason I'm in reselling right now. So,
mm-hmm.
One of those things because I was trying to get rid of her junk. Like one of those things. Hey, Kat, thanks for coming by.
Kat.
Yeah, my daughter did LuLaRoe, and then there's like a year went by. She didn't do anything with it. She did pretty good in the beginning, and then she lost interest. So I was selling that stuff, trying to sell it on eBay, which weren't working out. Tried to sell it on Poshmark, weren't really working out. And then pretty much, man, yeah. I was trying to get rid of her stuff. I actually ended up selling it on Let Go. Somebody from out of town came and bought all of it, and I let it go. So we got rid of that, and then we moved on. Aaron, thanks for coming by. Rebel John.
Hey, Aaron.
So yeah. I guess Tommy had some problems with that software. That
yeah, it's not like perfect like anything else, but it gives you, especially if you're like, I don't know, stumble upon a random box of like Pokemon cards, it's a starting point for some folks.
Yeah. I'll tell you, something I do, which it may be annoying to people that are into it. One of the first things I did, we were talking about kind of tips and tricks, but one of the first things that I did, when I first started reselling, I had bought all these action figures, and like I know X-Men and stuff because as a kid, those are the comics I read. But like now there's so many action figures that are a spinoff of X-Men or Marvel and you're looking at those dudes like, who the heck is that? Like, what is that? So when I first started reselling that stuff, because that's my initial big haul, was that I joined like Marvel action figure Facebook group, and like I'd pop in there and I'd be that guy. Hey, does anybody know what this guy is? Like, and I was like, I mean, for the most part, people are. It's weird when you get in those groups of people that specialize in that stuff. You're gonna get one or two things, right? You're gonna get the guys that are extremely helpful, almost like a competition. Like, I can tell you what that's worth first, or who that is first. When you get the other guys, like, hey, idiot, like it's this, whatever.
It's their time to practice their satirical comedy on you.
Yeah, but I'm like, dude, I don't care. Just tell me what it is. I'm gonna go list it and make money on it. I don't mind people calling me names about that stuff. So, one of those things. But that's what I learned is do that. Join Facebook groups.
I mean, Christina, I'll tell you too. I mean, especially for buying and selling, because like a lot of times, especially selling stuff, like I mean, I know we gotta like buy and source things, but like I try and think of it like from a Grant Cardone standpoint. If you guys don't know who he is, he's like a real estate mogul. He's got a big YouTube channel himself, and his whole thing is like, who's got my money? And it's like, yo, if you are already in a collector's group or someone who's a group that specializes and they're looking for the thing that you're sourcing, why not sell it to them, and instead of hoping for eBay or Mercari to get the algorithm right, for you.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Dave, Tesla people, thanks for coming by. Marie, thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys. Hey, for those of you guys that don't know, Dontae, I don't know what's happened with him or, scheduling mishap or whatever, but he is obviously not here. Somebody did ask if you do his impression of him till he gets here, but I
don't feel like that'd be a respectful thing. I don't actually even know. I haven't talked to Dontae like that to do an impression of him.
So for us, if any of you guys have heard anything from him, like whatever, no pressure at this point. Like, but we we're just talking reselling, talking about life, talking about anything that we can do to be helpful. As always, we try to bring value to the community. We don't know everything, but we're learners, so we do have learned some things along the way, and hopefully, what we don't know, let you guys in the chat fill in, right? Because plenty of y'all have more experience than us.
Well, and that's like why when Eric and I talk like off the internet, it's never like my way or the highway. Like, I know how to do this. You should do it this way. If you want to succeed, do it my way. It's like, hey, this is what I'm doing. It's working for me. I'm finding success. Like, you can try it. If you don't want to try it, it's like, it's fine. It's not a one size fits all.
Yeah, because obviously, for what works for some people, it doesn't work for other people. I mean, and that's obvious. Like, I see some of you guys that are listing, and the way I list isn't the way other people list, and like it's one of the things we all have. And honestly, like that old saying, "Learners are earners." Man, if you think you know it all, like I do have some biblical knowledge myself, and I kind of think in terms of that, like pride comes before the fall. That's a principle, and most of the time, if we're just stuck in one way and this is the only way we're going to do it, if we're not careful, we can, if things shift and we don't, like, we might get left in the cold. It's constantly learning. That's the thing. Picking for a Living said, "What is everybody's best platform other than eBay?" I'm like, man, I'm pretty eBay heavy myself. I sell a little bit on Amazon, but I've just I'm baby stepping into that this time around. And that's about it. I mean, I've sold some Facebook Marketplace stuff, but that's about it for me. Poshmark, I've done 0 on. Mercari, I've sold 6 items on Mercari total, which I haven't put a lot of effort in it, so I can't really give a fair take on that. So,
I mean, Macari. I mean, you guys know I love my Macari. So, like I'm a Macari fanboy, but Facebook Marketplace is very promising. And I've had success from it just locally, but just even chatter in some of the reseller groups I've been in, like a lot of people have been doing well on Facebook Marketplace, purely because it's less fees and all that other stuff. I mean, Macari just upped their fees back in October.
Yeah, it's crazy too. Like, what the hell's kind of brought up something here too. There's YouTube's actually becoming a platform for resellers. Like,
Just auctions.
Yeah, I mean, think of how many auctions you see every day on YouTube.
Mhm.
Like, I know Tim's actually been killing it pretty strong recently on the because if you talk to Tim on a Tuesday after he's had his Monday night auction, dude, he's shipping like crazy. And lots of people are doing that. Facebook auctions, people do that. Yeah, so one of those things. People are talking about Facebook Marketplace. I mean, they've gone into the shipping game. I haven't tried that out. I can't really speak on that, but I know there are other people that have. Cats all over the place with it. Facebook Marketplace, Macari, Poshmark. Like,
well, and Joe's bringing it up now too, because now you have the store feature on Instagram, which is very nice. So, I mean, and I think it was Becky Park. She was interviewing somebody who's just a clothing seller, and all of her stuff she would wear it sometimes, model it to be in a post or a video, and people would just straight up ask her either through Instagram or from her YouTube video, and she'd get a transaction out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, auctions, who knows how it all works, like how it's going to come out, because I know
it's no joke, Tommy.
Not for everybody, but my family and friends begging there. We've had a little of that discussion today too. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. Like, man, anybody can. You almost want to be like, hey, there is a way to make some money. I mean, it's out there. It's available.
I mean, just even like not that long ago, like my brother-in-law was like, he's in college and he's hurting for beer money and stuff. And it's like, yo, can I borrow some money? No, but you can work it. You can work. Yeah. You can, here's a couple of things. If you can sell it, it's yours. Like I'll give you a commission. Like I'll give you 15% commission. That's better than any retail job you can get.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Too, man. I actually just I don't know whether Brittany's watching this or not, but Brittany, like, she's changing jobs. My youngest daughter. And so, like, I was telling her, I said, look, here's the deal. I said, I'll pay your car payment if you'll list enough items to make it worthwhile. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. It's like, hey, you could be doing nothing, like stressing about it, or you could do that. One of the things we were going to talk to Dontae some about tonight. I mean, if you go back and watch his story, because I went all the way back to like video number 1 and watched that as well. And I've talked to him a little bit, is that same thing. It's like, man, you could either just throw up your hands and say, yeah, look at everything that's stacked against you, or you can go to work. I mean, like, you can, and reselling for most of us has been a way to, I mean, you don't get the return that you get here. I mean, you think about the number of hours, like if you really put your nose to the grindstone and you worked, man, where else are you going to get that kind of return? Like, return on investment anyway. I mean, like, most of the time you're putting very little out to make a pretty good living at it if you want to. But it is. I mean, you hear a lot of these guys that started with next to nothing, and look at where they're at. I mean, obviously it's taken work to get there. It's not like a handout. It's something you're working for it. But man, like me and Cernock talk when he comes on my listing live sometimes, and we've had him. He's like, dude, I would never go back to the restaurant. Like he said,
God no.
That's the thing you got to look at is hey, it's one of these things.
Yeah, no, and it no.
But
like I was helping out like a local restaurant for a little while, you know, just because they were like friends and stuff like that, and they needed some assistance until they could find some help. And like I'm like, all right, cool. I don't mind getting paid under the table for a little while, but I mean, it just reminded me. I'm like, there is a reason why I never took over my dad's restaurant. Like I wanted nothing to do with it after college. You know, it was a great like permanent summer job that I knew like I always had, you know, I always could go to the restaurant and make money. Like if I was just hurting, you know, I could go bartend for a weekend, like, and I'd be fine. But yeah, do I want to do that anymore? Heck no.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing. I know these guys are talking about IG. I don't really know anything about the IG like store or anything like that. I've seen just a little snippet of it, but I don't know enough to speak on it really. But, you know, I know that's something that people are talking about. But, you know, Jeremy brings up the other side of what we were talking about with reselling is in your own schedule when you resell. You can do whatever you want to do when you want. You know, freedom is a big thing. It does come at a cost. We know that. It comes at a cost because you still got to put in the work to have the freedom. But, man, I know for me, like I've taken a couple trips where I put my store on 3-day. I'm still making sales and I'm doing, you know, kind of what I want to do. So,
yeah, you know, I guess the other thing, like having to tie that with like working in a restaurant, it kind of erased from my mind the whole weekend thing, you know, because like school has just taught you like I can kind of do work Monday through Friday and then Saturday, Sunday, like I'm just chilling. And it's like, I mean, there are some people that kill it on Saturday, Sunday because you're taking it easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things I've tried to pick up on, and I tried to do some of it today, one of the little snippets I have found recently, man, if you will list your butt off on Thursday and Friday, you'll have a good weekend. Like it's kind of how it works is you have a good weekend. There's fresh items hitting your for the weekend when people are looking at it. But the other side of it, for me, Saturday, even though it becomes somewhat of a work day because I like to go source the yard sales, man, Saturday though, sourcing to me is fun. It's relaxing. It's not work. It's really, it's the exciting part of reselling is seeing what you find.
Yeah.
But the post office, the days the post office closed here. Yeah. That's the thing.
I mean, that's the day I take off of shipping, unless like, you know, Monday is like a really heavy day, in which case I probably have to pack stuff ahead of time on Sunday, so I'm not dying on Monday.
That's what I've started trying to be better about because I procrastinate on the weekends with shipping too. And then what I've started doing is I kind of look out when I wake up Saturday morning and see how much I've sold. Then I'm like, if I'm hitting like that double digit mark, I'm like, I better start packing now. Like, go ahead and get on some of it just to say, Emily.
Yeah.
So you're saying if I list stuff, I make sales, huh? Amazing. That's funny.
I mean, it's kind of what we were talking about earlier. You know, you like kind of get these, you know, urges to make these dramatic changes. Like I'm gonna list like 100 items a week or whatever, something unrealistic, you know, because you feel like that's gonna give you dramatic results. But it's like, no, it's pretty straightforward. You know, you just list it, and the more stuff you list, the higher the likelihood that you'll like, you know, sell stuff.
Yeah, I think it's more on the consistency thing than like peaks and valleys. I mean, peaks and valleys are going to result in peaks and valleys in sales. Consistency and consistency. Like, so it depends on what you want. Like, in one of those things. But I mean, the other side of listing, and this is something I think sometimes people forget. I saw Emily way back up in the chat. I had mentioned if you only find 5 items, you can only list 5 items. So if you have a listing goal, if you have a thing that, hey, I know I need to list 100 items a week, then guess what? You got to source at least 100 items a week, unless you're like me and have a mountain of stuff to list, where I could probably take a few weeks off and not even be sweating. But the average person, man, if you're, it's crazy because the people that are doing the right thing and listing everything they buy are constantly having to find more stuff to buy. So I guess there's the balance, right? You got to figure out where your balance lies and, how to get it. So,
yeah. I mean, I guess that's like, for me, because I'm part-time and I don't like lean on it as much. It's like, it's more of like play money for me. Yeah. So like, there's not as much pressure for me to like, just like YouTube actually got me more in that mindset than like the store did. I'm like, I need content.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like, it's like when you all that time you put into like just researching stuff at a thrift store or at retail, you're looking for opportunities all the time, and it's super time consuming, and it's almost a headache. But then after a while, these opportunities start kind of hitting you in the face. You don't have to look as hard.
And you've learned so much. Yeah. Now you're not having to spend as much time researching because you're like, oh, see that, got it. No, I know what that is, that kind of thing. So don't forget my list everything challenge, list a chunk.
Oh, snap.
Take a video, be entered to win $100. Emily. Yeah. I have to get on that. Hashtag list everything. Check out Emily Conway on Instagram and YouTube.
Get it.
Hashtag list everything. Jeremy, death piles, those are profit piles.
Mindset.
Yep. That's what Nate was saying. He keeps trying to tell his wife all those death piles is future money when I can list it.
Yep.
That is true. Ooh, Nate.
Marie, no, I will not be. I like Illinois. I like Illinois where I am right now. So they had just actually we're gonna just legal or decriminalize possession of hard drugs and legalize psychedelic mushrooms. So that should be very interesting for the mental health community. Be interesting, but I mean, that's not what I cultivate. But it'll be interesting because I already have a set amount of skills that it takes to cultivate those. So if anybody's looking to, hire a consultant with their big investors.
There you go. There you go. Hey, Emily's dropped the link for the video that has the rules on that. Guys, if you want to be a part of that, please get on board. I'll be watching that after our show, Emily, and seeing what I can do. See if I can set aside a small death pile. Because if I brought out the whole thing, it would be a
nice.
There you go. Different measures. That's 2 different measures in order. Okay. Yeah. One of those things. Mushroom consultant. Updating your LinkedIn now.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Who knows? I'll probably be I'll probably get bored of it after a little while. If I can figure out how to automate it, I'd go figure out something else fun to do.
Dude, so early this morning when I was listing some video games and watching Disney Plus, the new Mandalorian, after the new Mandalorian, come on this show about India, which, you guys all know that I'm interested in India. I've been there, traveled. They were showing this solar farm that they have out there. And dude, this thing has automated mopping of the solar panels. These robots that actually travel down the thing. It said it takes it 2 hours to do 830 solar panels. I was like, I'm sitting there just like, you know, like ASMR. I'm like looking at that thing like, man, that's pretty amazing. Like just sit there watching it for a bit. But I was like, the largest solar farm in the world, I guess, is there. We can actually provide electric to 150,000 homes. Crazy.
Yo, all I know is the Japanese promised me at 2020 an automatic laundry folding machine. Darn it. And it's not here yet.
What's happened to that?
I don't know, man.
I think if you want to be the wealthiest reseller, the automatic listing program. Just drop your item in one end, Willy Wonka it out the other side. It's listed and packed and put away.
I call that. I have one already, man. I call it my son.
He
just don't know it yet.
Yeah. It's like, how come normal people go to school? You were going to school, son. Nah. One of those things. 90% of my stock is death pile, up to 90 listings now on eBay. Fill them up too fast.
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't been able to list anything new in 6 weeks since my eBay room had to be cleared for my daughter and family. Sold anything.
And that happens, right, Yvette? I mean, sometimes you just can't list stuff.
Joe was saying you should time lapse video your mushroom grows.
Yeah. I did it with or I'm trying to do with like a petri plate of genetics right now that I've cultivated today. I'm just lazy.
Tracy, are you ending and selling similar, like just to keep some activity up? Might be a good idea. Mandalorian comments. Auto listing program equals employees.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I've seen, Jeremy, where you guys are getting ready to head south.
For the winter?
Yeah, they have Constance and, they have Patience and Christian taking care of the eBay side of their business. Yeah. Jeremy said that'd be a good ASMR video they were saying.
There is a lot. I've thought about it because there is a lot of like little, because you got to use like a torch and stuff to sterilize things and whatnot. I'll get an ASMR setup going.
There you go. Unbox them life piles. Florida now, man. 70 acres.
All right, man.
I hear you, bro. Good luck with that. Contemplating multi-purposing my employees and training one of them for eBay. Mike, that might be a smart thing for sure.
I mean, I know what's his face? Pete. Yeah, I mean, he's got folks helping him list and stuff,
Yeah, I mean, Mike already has the thrift store, so he's got items coming in, like anyway. But yeah, I mean, taking some of that because you can basically cherry pick it in there.
Yep.
But
what's an Ollie's?
Ollie's is yeah, we have that out here too. I actually took Ken there the other day for his first trip. Ollie's is kind of like a liquidation place. But they bought out when Lifeway Christian bookstores went out of business. They bought them out. They bought a lot of Toys R Us inventory when they went out. Like they're basically like liquidating that kind of stuff. So there is some good deals. One of the things I will tell you, Emily, I mean, I'm sure you already know this, but Ollie's has a lot of food items that are like stuff that's not normal. Like they have cotton candy. Captain Crunch right now is one you might want to look at. But it's things in there that are a little bit, that you don't see every day in grocery stores, or they may be regional or something like that. It's a good RA place. And toys. They usually have good sales on toys. And if you have somebody that hasn't been to Ollie's before, you save 15% your first trip in. So take advantage of that. Just
I was trying
for the day.
I mean, that's a thing that kind of keep an eye out on, especially with businesses kind of closing up and folding and whatnot. Unfortunate, but as a reseller, it kind of works out. I mean, we had a whole string of family videos that were going out of business just in like my area. I didn't get a chance to go to any of them, but they were dumping off video games. If you saw Caleb, Phoenix reseller, he was like killing it, just going from store to store, buying up their used video games to flip. So I can't imagine like if he had done it while they were trying to liquidate everything and getting some of those deals.
Yeah. I don't know.
So Emily wants to sell food.
Yeah, I mean, hey, golden Oreos is something I saw in there. I hadn't sold them, but I looked at them when I was in there. I didn't have my the other day. But yeah, there's I mean, honestly, if you're doing Ollie's, like Tommy said, Ollie's is different in every store. It's kind of like TJ Maxx, but for like everything else. You know what I mean? Like TJ Maxx is primarily clothes and other stuff, but it's like that.
I wonder if there's one over by me in Illinois. I'm looking up now. Anyways.
You talking about this water bottle? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I know it's pretty much. Well, I mean, I guess if there's one up near.
Nope.
I mean, there's some in Virginia. There's some like all the way down to Alabama, Florida.
I gotta go all the way to Gary, Indiana to see one.
I got you.
Like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. Nah, I'm gonna go to my free sourcing trip tomorrow. See if I can get stuff. They're like, oh, what Christina said, she said, oh man, it could be like what's that Heart Pickers guy? I'm like, he sells a lot of suits, right? I'm like, well, I doubt Will's dad bought a bunch of Brioni suits, but we'll see. That would be nice.
Yeah, they're one of those things. Yeah, I mean, Ollie's is one of those things that you can find lots of stuff there. Tommy was talking about hair care products. I know I've seen like hair dye and stuff in there pretty cheap. And like you said, there's lots of stuff, especially discontinued items, which is what they specialize in. So I've actually done a lot of movie RA in Ollie's myself.
Movies like videos and stuff.
Yeah. They're all sealed, and at mine they're 75% off, and they're usually priced like $4, 75% off, or $3.99 or $2.99. So pretty good, sealed for less than $1.
Nice.
I know Jeff is a media king. Like he does a lot of videos.
Yep.
Sells a lot of his videos.
Yeah, I have a stack of videos I need to go through tomorrow after I list the video games.
But
film it, Emily. Film it. Let me live vicariously through you. Since I can't, I don't know. I've also been really sketched about going out. So, like last week, I told you guys that I was around somebody who was COVID positive and didn't bother to tell us. We stayed away from him and had masks on and stuff. We tested negative since then, but now I'm just like super sketched out because like he's having a ton of issues right now. And this kid, he's 25 and he's like struggling right now. So I hope everything goes well with him. But like he gave us a little scare for a bit.
Yeah, that's weird. PA base. There you go.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think other states have different kinds of stores like Ollie's, but one of those things.
I hope your neighbor is okay, Emily.
Eye drops for $200 a bottle. Wow.
What?
Man, I need to find some of those eyedroppers.
Yeah, what kind of potheads you selling it to, Tommy? Dry eyes. Use clear eyes.
Here you go. How do you guys feel about using manufactured image or stock photos for selling boxed items, DVDs, new stuff? Even if it's the main pick.
I mean, if it's a new item, I mean, even in Macari's policy, I don't know eBay's as well, but like if it's a new item, you are allowed to use stock photos. They obviously want you to show a couple pictures of you having it in your possession. But I mean, I've used stock photos for retail arbitrage stuff and nobody's complained.
I've done the same, but I usually just the main photos. I still will take other photos of it. Yeah. I've not had any problems to date. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys have been doing it longer than me would might have had something happen along the way, but I've not had that problem.
Yeah.
CBD oil eye drops so well in Texas.
That does not sound pleasant.
Yeah, like I thought the point was to get the redness out.
That sounds very uncomfortable, actually.
Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, man. You got anything burning in your mind you want to share? Anything else?
I don't know. I don't really have nothing I can think of. Any one of you have a good site for finding maker marks for china and porcelain items over the years? That's my
Yeah.
Tim is like my guy. I know Tracy, if you're in here, she probably could tell you. I know she knows some stuff about like that kind of stuff. I am not your man if it's glass. Yeah.
Google is a good one, Mike.
Yeah. I have had to do the where you take the picture and then you have to resize it to get it to figure out exactly what it is.
It's not 100%. I mean, I've had like taken the picture of the thing itself, and sometimes you strike out.
Yeah. Refresh.
Yeah.
Night on.
And that's basically the same thing, Jeremy. Google Lens is a Google image search.
Yeah. Tim was it was Refresh PM nighttime ointment. Yeah. They took fish oil out, made synthetic. Okay.
All right, whatever.
Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes not so much.
Yeah, it's hit or miss. It's one of those. It's a starting place, but not great.
Our cases are triple. School going to Zoom after Thanksgiving.
Dang.
I'm going to be wearing a bubble suit. Gotcha. Wow. Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. Stocking up.
You think there'll be my parents been reading like the Chinese newspaper in Boston and stuff, and like they're like, you need to buy toilet paper again. I think the white people are about to go crazy. I'm like, Mom, you can't say that. Like okay, we'll get TP, but still you can't say that.
Dude, you know what we did last time? I ordered those bidets for our house.
Almost as clutch as a thermal printer. I'm gonna tell you right now, I was a hater, but now I'm a believer.
Me too. I can honestly tell you. But clean rear, like they have all those weird ones, like showing you watching pudding off a beach.
Yeah.
But, like, hey, and they're easy to install. Like, we got it taken care of. But I was like, man, just in case it goes down south again, you can use far less toilet paper. But
I mean, that's what I'm like. I'm like, why is everybody going ham on toilet paper. Don't you guys wash your back, like your butts?
Yeah.
I was trying not to curse and say butt at the same time. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. It is, man. It's one of those things you think about and say, well, it's crazy because when I go to India, they have the little hand washer on the side. Like, yeah. So, like one of those things on your sink, but for the toilet. But
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Who knows, man? I've seen that recently here, like where once again toilet paper a little harder to come by. Like,
so, I mean, I guess now from a speculation standpoint, do you think the things that were going crazy, right as like the first shutdown happened, like April, you think that stuff like, your bread making machines, your puzzles, your video games,
who
all
knows?
that stuff. I mean, especially winter's coming, people have more reason to be indoors now.
Yeah.
And want reasons to be distracted. So I don't know. Will you see a second surge in some of this stuff that was hot before? I think video games for sure, but it's tough. Like, because it's like Nintendo has already said they've anticipated some of this stuff and they're overstocking stores now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, who knows? Like with everything the way it is, winter's coming. Yeah. Reference. But yeah, we see it's hard to say, but I think there will be some the second time around. I mean, you look at what's going on right now, yeah, I could very well see that happening again.
I mean, they've shut down restaurants over here. Like I have friends in Rhode Island that are talking about instead of a 2-week quarantine, it's a 24-day quarantine or 21-day quarantine, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Even like my dad was in the hospital recently, and like, even her, like she has trouble getting in and out of the hospital just like to see him, like if she steps out to go buy food or whatever. So so Boston's been like cracking down like nuts. So I'm just curious, like our folks, because they can't dine out, even like get a haircut, that kind of stuff, go to the salon. So I've been kind of starting to think of, this is what I missed last time. What are the services that people can't have right now that they're going to want to fulfill at home, and they'll pay money to satisfy that need,
Yeah, I mean, I honestly did sell some clippers and stuff in the midst of all that.
Mm-hmm.
I live in a very unique situation. By the way, thanks, Danica, for dropping in. You're late, but you're just in time. So for me, where we live, when they shut everything down, our county made a decision to close our county. So, and to get in our county, you've got to cross bridges. Like, so when they close the county, they can actually literally close the county. Like, you got to come across 1 or 2 bridges to get in there. And so when they did that, it actually made it to where we were still getting items in here. Like they would let service trucks and food purveyors and all that stuff in the county, but they weren't letting anybody else unless you had a county residence ID. You couldn't get in.
Mm-hmm.
And they even shut it down to people. If you owned a property here, but you didn't have a ID that had your property residence address, then you out. So that's what they did. And so when they did, I still had some sourcing opportunities here, especially with RA, because there ain't but so many people that live here. So, they're not buying everything. So I actually was able to sell some clippers and that kind of stuff from Walmart and other places and did pretty well with them.
Jeremy's bringing up an interesting point too, because they're moving to Florida and my mother-in-law works in the mortgage industry, and I see her work nonstop, and they're setting record numbers in house and home sales and whatnot, which says a lot of people are relocating, which means there are a lot of opportunities for people wanting their homes cleaned out. I don't know if Profit Monsters Drew is still here. He's a realtor, but I'm sure they could speak to that. So that's opportunity too for folks to look out for. Do you have a neighbor who just maybe doesn't like what their state is doing and they're choosing to relocate? Maybe they need some help, liquidating or selling some stuff, or just need somebody to take the stuff off their hands. So a good time to have a truck and know people. Or even, I don't know, would it be worthwhile to even call like a realtor, like, hey, like if you have a house that needs cleaning out, like I'm your dude.
Yeah.
And just canvassing people that way.
If you got the capability of dealing with it, I mean, Jeremy, to speak to that point, I live in a vacation area, and honestly, man, we have a lot of houses booked through Christmas here.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because usually for us, like basically you get that Thanksgiving week owners that all come here and Christmas week owners that all come here. But basically winter's pretty quiet here, but not this year. Like usually we call it the shoulder season as things start to die off. But people are coming here, man. And with people doing virtual schooling, they're coming here with their kids. Like it's
hang out on the beach. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, and the people that own the vacation homes, like to speak to Mike's point, that's what he's saying because he's here too on the Outer Banks. People that own homes here, rather than staying in New York or somewhere else in the northern states, they're coming here to the beach. It's like if you quarantine, why not quarantine at the beach? So.
Well, and then for you guys, right? Then you have a whole flux of people coming in for a little while, probably buying stuff and then dipping out. So, opportunities for that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, typically here in the winter, I mean, what I saw last year, I mean, that was my first winter going through as a reseller. What I saw last year is a lot of people redo their homes and stuff, rental homes in particular. So they will be moving like decoration, furniture, that kind of stuff a lot. But we actually have, we have pretty decent yard sales coming up tomorrow here. So we'll see. Like the north end of Manio, which is kind of higher end place, which is like 7 minutes from my house, is they're doing a big sale tomorrow. So I'll be hitting that up for sure.
Yep.
Then I have to go back and get more tires tomorrow because I've noticed something on one of mine.
Yeah.
Always something, right?
Yep. I'm gonna be bugging the crap out of Leroy tomorrow when I start looking through some of those tools and stuff, because I have no idea. I gotta actually make sure I charge my camera and get my SD cards prepped. So because I'm trying to just get everything done, get like the farm stuff done, because it's Christina's birthday next week. So we'll be going away for a couple of days for her birthday and like a mini honeymoon. So because we never really took one like after we got married. So yeah, so I'm going to try and make the most out of tomorrow. I'm like, you sure you want to come? Like it's kind of a long trip. I'm like thinking like, oh, we'll have maximum room in my car to take all the stuff that I want. Fortunately, Chicago is only like an hour away, so I can drive back and forth if needed.
There you go. Might be renting a U-Haul for the day.
Worth it. I was just messaging Joe, like, I'm going to see what the situation is. And if they got more stuff than I can chew off, like I'll call him up and see if he wants to, come and take part in it, share the wealth.
There you go. A fair number of beach bum types in your area. Tim, honestly, man, most of the time what we have here is there is kind of a different attitude about stuff. We have guys that they work in the summer and they like to take the winter off and work the system. But a few years ago, they changed the unemployment for winter. So that kind of messed some people up. They used to base your unemployment on your summer numbers for winter. And now they started basing it on your fall numbers for winter. So when they did that, it changed a lot of that stuff. So guys either work or go somewhere else. It's pretty expensive to live here if you don't have property. Like it's to rent a place here is pretty expensive for what you make. Maybe not expensive to some people that live in the cities, but it is for here.
I mean, even Cape Cod is like 2,000 a week.
Yeah,
Like,
and the homeless people, like as far as people that aren't like that, what do they do about those people? We do have a small number. In the wintertime, there's a lot of churches that take those guys in, and what they do is they can stay the night there, but they have to be out at like 8 a.m. and they can't come back in till like 9 o'clock at night. So it's one of those things. It's like, hey, you can come in and sleep, and we'll give you breakfast, and then you got to roll. But we don't have a ton of that. We have people that come here and then they roll on somewhere else because we don't have public transportation. So like to move around here on the beach, things are kind of far apart. So there's not really a way to do that. But yeah, those things. Yeah, Mike was talking about property tax here, moving from because he was up in your area, Illinois, Chicago area. He said property taxes are a third here. Mine actually just went up 43% this year, so that was one of the things. But yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Average rent for a 3-bedroom is $700 to $800 a month. That's a steal. What?
That would be average rent for a single bedroom in someone else's house here.
Can't even get a studio here for that.
Yeah, like you'd be staying in someone's house sharing a bathroom with them for $700.
Yeah. If I had 2 other roommates, it might be $700 to $800 a month. That's bonkers.
Yeah, Mike did. Wanchie's went up 43% this past year. So mine almost doubled.
Oh, you can always go to Iowa.
Yeah.
If it wasn't too bad. I liked the little bit of Iowa that I saw.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I don't know, Jerry. I've lived in Florida too. Like, so for me, like I know there's places in Florida where you can buy acreage for what I own this little spot right here.
I would love to live in Alabama, like on the Gulf Coast, Alabama, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like where my grandparents live, they're an hour from the beach, and they're right at the Alabama border. But Florida has no state taxes, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
One of those things. The Panhandle area is different too than South Florida. So, but who knows? We'll see. You guys need to travel them up to 36 states. I travel. I haven't been West Coast.
I just haven't been to like the upper Midwest, like Minnesota, the Dakotas and stuff. I love to get like a motorcycle and just like ride the Great Plains. That'd be awesome. That's something I've always wanted to do. Yeah, we talked about, like me and my wife were talking about, we would love to like drive cross country, go all the way over, because she's originally from California, so she still has family out there. But like, drive the top part, and then because my brother lives in Minnesota too, so like drive the top part and then come back on the bottom part. So yeah, one of those things. Yep, I don't know. It's one of those things. Hey, so if you guys have any questions for us further, if not, we'll probably wind this thing down. Kiva's trying to, that bell ringing this Kiva telling me he needs to go to the bathroom. Gotcha. So obviously you've got a big day tomorrow with the clean out. Yep. That'll be exciting because I haven't like done a big haul. Like I find like I've been finding little stuff here and there, but especially with COVID and stuff like that, I really haven't been as like motivated to like go out and source like I was. Yeah. But then again, dude, I have like so much stuff right now that I really just need to list, so, and that is no fault but my own. Yeah, I'm right there with you on so much stuff that I really don't need to source, but I'm going to anyway. And that's that brings up. That's the other thing too. Like we're thinking about, trying to get into like a house next spring. Maybe a 3-bedroom or something a little bit bigger for like all of our little side hustles, and then Ezra himself. So I'm like, do I want to like keep acquiring more stuff? Because that's stuff I have to move. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Where the sales elbow cough.
Yep.
But yeah, I've got some sales tomorrow. North End of Manio, if you know where that's at.
Get it. Yeah, I'm going to Chicago tomorrow, so
Feel free to meet me there. Send me an IG. I'll tell you where to go.
yeah.
And then if you strike out, you can always come and pick up a box or two of parts. I'll send you. One of those things. For me, guys, I'm trying to think. As far as this week, obviously I'm going to be listing on Tuesday as usual. I'm hoping to put out a pre-recorded this week. That's the plan anyway. I'm about to come over the cusp and figuring out this new software and get my phone to act right with it and my GoPro and all that sync together. But that's the plan, is to try to get one of those out this week. Do you have some other stuff going on? Actually, Sam is modeling some merch that I've got tonight. Do you even list, bro? So, man, if you guys go to my Instagram, my flow page, there's OBX merch. Feel free to go on there. If you use the code OBX Picker, save 15%. So feel free to do that. It's not a must, but it would be appreciated for sure. So other than that, that's about what I got going on. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing going to some yard sales here locally. So hoping to get some footage of that. And then we'll see what else happens. Mike, I'm actually using for going live. I use software called StreamYard. It's actually the one that they YouTube kind of links to. But if you want to talk about software and going live, Tommy is the guy to talk to about all that. He has about 50 million softwares that he runs through it. Synchronization.
Dude, they're like, it's awesome what they are doing.
Hey, man.
It's so cool. That's awesome.
Big time stuff. Hey, Tim, get up with me this week, bro. I need to find out about your plans. Are you going to be able to make it or not next week? So hopefully a collab coming in the future. If not, but I will be changing up the format on Tuesdays, guys. If you want to be a part of the listing live on Tuesdays, shoot me an IG. I'm going to try not to get in a bind this coming week. We'll go over some things, but otherwise,
have fun tomorrow, man.
Yeah, it should be good, and good luck on your adventures.
Thanks, man.
You'll find some good stuff. Hey, and thanks all you guys for being here.
Yeah.
Sorry that Dontae did not make it. Hopefully y'all as well with that. So otherwise, we'll get in touch with them. Maybe we can get him rescheduled for next week, or we'll see. And hey, the other thing I was going to tell you guys, if any of you guys want to be a part of the last Friday night of the month, we have one guest lined up so far. But if any of you guys who haven't been on yet, or maybe want to come back on, feel free to do so. Yeah, it'd be something good to do. Mike, maybe I could get you on here one day. I'll hit you up on that. So, that'd be good.
Appreciate you guys.
All right. Thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate
Stay
y'all.
safe.
Have a good evening. Hey, I'll say, yeah, there you go. As always, if we can help you in any way, feel free to hit us up. Get back to you as soon as we can. All right.
Hey, Shasha. Bye, Shasha.